the happy wife, happy life lie. Okay? And I'm going to quote Hafiz from the roommates right now. Shout out to Hafiz. And that is, just because it makes her happy doesn't mean it makes her horny. One more time. Just because it makes her happy doesn't mean it makes her horny. What do I mean by that? I've explained a few times that there's a difference between love and desire, right? What makes you love someone doesn't necessarily make you desire them. For example, your children, your mother, your father, your sister, you love them all, you don't desire them. At least I hope so. I'm Mississippi, Alabama, so, you know. Your wife, or I should say, no, let's not use your wife. When Becky meets Chad at the bar, Becky might have an instant attraction to Chad. Chad might have an instant physical attraction to Becky. But they don't love each other. So there's a difference between love and desire. Now, we have been taught, we have been brainwashed almost about the importance of making your wife, your husband, your soulmate. Yeah? Your best friend. Well, I have a question for you. Ladies in particular, you tend to be closer with your friends than men are. What do you do with your friends, your best friends? What's the one thing that you do with a friend, with a best friend? You share everything. Everything. You have no secrets from one another. There's no mystery. How can there be mystery when you're constantly sharing with each other? Right? Now, if you take that same thing and you apply it to a husband and wife dynamic, and you share absolutely everything with each other, and you become quote unquote best friends, how can you maintain desire when there's no mystery? Because desire is fueled by mystery, by not knowing. I have used the example a number of times of successful television series, whether it's Game of Thrones or Peaky Blinders or Prison Break or whatever floats your boat. What's the one thing these series have in common? They keep you mystified on a cliffhanger at the end of each episode and at the end of each season. At the end of each episode, they have like a let's say a half dirty cliffhanger, and then at the end of each season, they make sure they leave you on an intensely filthy cliffhanger. Why? Because television producers know that as much as you may get upset with the television producer for leaving you on a cliffhanger, they know if they give you all the answers and they make the program transparent, which is what you want, that you won't be back for the next season. You won't be back. Now, gentlemen, it is far more important that you remain a mystery to your wife than it is for her to remain a mystery to you. Why? Well, when it comes to physical attraction or physical desire, men, we have testicles that fill with semen and need emptying. I know it's crude, but this is the truth. For women, physical desire is stimulated differently. They need to be stimulated up here first before they can be stimulated down there. How do you do that as a man? You maintain an aura of mystery about you. You don't show your hand completely. You don't put all your cards on the table. There needs to be something about you that she can't quite figure out. There needs to be an aura of mystery around you. Now, you might now be thinking, well, Mahdi, this all sounds great in theory, but how on earth does one go about implementing this? Like, this sounds great, but how do I go about implementing that? Well, I'm glad you asked. I'm going to give you one thing which I believe that if you do this, you will maintain an aura of mystery about you without even thinking about it. Because, and this is all coming off the back of a discussion I had with my wife today. And she was listening to a YouTube video and a prescription from one of these marriage counselors about the importance of a man sharing everything with his wife, seeking permission from his wife before doing whatever he wants to do, and basically just becoming an emasculated mangina, right? And my wife said to me, Mahdi, you are the type of person that I can't quite figure out. There's always things about you that I can't quite figure out. And I said to her, I don't do this intentionally. I am not intentionally withholding from you. So what makes you say this? Because I would like to know. If I'm doing this, great, brilliant, but I am not doing it intentionally. I don't even think about it. So how am I coming across this way such that there are things about me that you can't quite figure out? It's like I'm constantly, there's something, a dimension about me that she can't quite grasp. That's what the word she used, just quite out of reach. I said to her, I'm not doing it on purpose. So I would like to know so that I can share with the guys what it is they need to do in order to elicit the same effect. And she said to me, it's because you're constantly chasing a new goal. There is a constant new ambition on the horizon that you're chasing. The moment that you get there, you're on to the next thing. And the moment you get to the next thing, you're on to the next thing. And on and on and on and on and on. Never ending story. And I thought to myself, wow, that's just like a good Netflix series plot. As soon as the guy or the group or whatever the case may be, clock one problem, finish that first problem, what happens next? There's another problem that needs to be overcome. And that's how television producers keep your attention from season to season to season. If you've watched Prison Break, you will know they started off in America, and then I think season 3 they ended up in somewhere in South America. Right? So constant plot change and plot twists and different projects constantly. So what am I telling you, gentlemen? If you want to maintain this aura of mystery around you without having to think about it, without having to come home and think, right, what do I withhold and what do I tell her? That's stress. If you want to be able to do that, be pursuing ambitious goals. Notice I didn't say be ambitious. I said be pursuing present continuous ambitious goals. And I'll tell you why. I think I know what it is. When I'm around the family, there will be periods of time throughout my day, my evening, when I'm around the family, when I'm around my wife, when I'm around my kids, where I will suddenly zone out. And I've literally deep dived into a hole in my brain, in my mind, of a particular problem I'm trying to figure out. And I'll go blank and absent. And sometimes my wife will look at me and she'll be like, are you okay? Are you upset with me? Is there something wrong? And I'll be like, no, there's nothing. I'm just figuring out problems in my head. Think of Super Mario. You played Super Mario before? You know those green tube things that Mario can go down? And then he enters this whole new world and he has to clock these problems. That's the mind of a man. But particularly if you are a man who is on his purpose, you are pursuing ambitious goals, you will know you are constantly trying to figure out bloody problems. And as irritating as those problems are, it does keep life interesting. Think about it. Think of a game that you used to play when you were younger on PlayStation. You've got this game. You're getting so annoyed because you keep failing this level, but you keep playing it over and over. And then one day your friend says, listen, Mahdi, I've got the cheat codes for this game. Put these cheat codes in, and it will open up these doors and you'll get these weapons and then you'll be able to finish the game quickly. Well, that makes you happy in the short term. But I ask you, gentlemen, or even ladies who've played computer games, does that maintain your interest in the game over the long run? You've got the cheat codes, you complete the game, you're happy. But now, do you continue to play that game? No, you move on to the what? Onto the next game. The next game that you can't figure out, that you don't have cheat codes for, that frustrates you to high hell, and that you get so annoyed with, and that you can't sleep at night because you're trying to figure out how you can beat this big boss or whatever it is. Such is the relationship dynamic. Such is the aura a man needs to cloud himself with. He needs to maintain this aura of mystery. And the best way to do it without having to think about it is to be constantly pursuing ambitious goals. If you do this, gentlemen, you will know what I'm talking about. When you're taking a deep dive into one of the holes in your brain and you're trying to figure out all of these different problems. You're connecting this with that, and will this work? And I don't know. And then you go absent. And then your wife, she looks at you and she thinks, what's he thinking about? Where's he gone? And that mystery right there, that spice, that element of, I wonder what he's thinking about. Where's he gone? What's he doing? What's he figuring out now? That is what maintains her interest in you. Just like a good television series. The not knowing of what's coming next. And the truth is, the reason why she doesn't know is because I don't know myself. I don't have the answers most of the time because I'm constantly faced with new problems in my work life and so on, and family as well, but I'm referring more to work life. I'm constantly faced with new problems that I don't have the answers to. So if I don't have the answers, how can I give her the answers? That's the mystery. That's how you maintain her interest. And it's more important for you to maintain her interest than it is for her to maintain yours, because you're a man, your balls fill up and they need emptying. It's not the same for her. She needs stimulating up here. What's the best way to stimulate her? Maintain an aura of mystery. How do you maintain an aura of mystery? By pursuing ambitious goals constantly. There is no end. There is no end game. There is no finish line. No, until you die. You pursue ambitious goals to the very end.